important was it, looks like talked a lot about the game plan and that you came in the chess match that you gave them. How important was it for them to focus on that and come in with something concrete into this game?
Like, I mean, from the final, or like the result? Like, how was it? How important it was, or just?
No, not as far as the result, but as far as maybe a confidence-wise,
Well, I thought they did everything that, like, they were very focused and they did the game plan to a T, and I thought we played very good. You know, I mean, sometimes you play very good and lose, and I mean, we got a point which I think for the psyche was very big. You know, and it may not make sense to you guys, but getting from the 39 to 40 points in that different category means a lot. It's always been, coaches have told me, that's the hardest points to get, is turning it over into that next rung. And I mean, obviously we've had a hard time getting this, and I think our last losing streak or losses before that was when we had 29 points. It's just watch it and you'll see that it's a difficult thing sometimes. But I thought we did everything we could. You know, I mean, obviously the overtime goal, but you know, when Alex hits a crossbar, you talk about guys being snake bitten. Nicky, their goalie, making a great save, and numerous other chances that we had to get a 2 to 3-0 lead, and that didn't come true. You knew it was going to be a close game.
When you play as well as you did tonight, but you don't get the results that you want, you have to kind of guard against them getting frustrated. In other words, you have to keep them focused on playing that well and not be frustrated with the results. Try to bring that game this weekend.
That's why I think it's good that we have 2 days off before the next game. You know, I mean, because tomorrow this was an emotional game for all of them, and it's time to get rolled up and do it again. So it's we'll have 2 more good practices, and then we'll be on our way and go to Boston and give her hell.
I was just talking to Steckland, and it looked like he admitted it. He's like, you know, nothing else to say, kind of running out of answers as to why. You know, why pucks aren't going in, why things are like that. And, you know, that's frustration from losing, but are you the same way? It's just like, kind of, why is this happening?
I don't know why. Maybe God shined on us too much last year during the regular season, and he's doing this where we change the way we play, and maybe that's the way you play to win a Stanley Cup. I don't know. I mean, there's maybe a divine thing of changing the way we play, and I thought that if we can play like that, and you limit, would they have 21 shots again or something of that nature? I mean, you're going to win an awful lot of hockey games, and I see us winning a lot of hockey games in the future. But right now it's frustrating because no one's used to this. So it really, I'm not saying takes its toll. It really makes you get mentally stronger, whether you like to or not. And I think because we could have come in after the second period, tied 1-1, and been so frustrated. And we weren't. We went out, and I thought we played a really good third period. And that tells me they're getting mentally stronger.
What went into first deciding that you were going to match a line against their big line, and then deciding that it was going to be like Red instead?
Well, I mean, we had different combinations, but like Semin was out and Johansson was out. So, I mean, but these are veteran guys that have come through and played for me and done it before. And I look back to the Pittsburgh series where they were our checking line, and they might not have had the success that they would have liked to earlier on in the year, but I knew if I gave them a job that they would come out and they would do it, and they would do it very well. And I thought they checked Getzlaf's line tremendously, and they were +1 until, you know, I mean, and I think they ended up +1 until the overtime when they changed on the fly and got the matchup with Nicky and Alex.
This might be simplifying it a little bit, but is this the crossroads that a team has to go through? The growing pains, even though they're not a young, total young team, that a team has to go through when they're trying to change the way they play?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've never had to do that before, so I mean, I'm going through it myself. So I mean, but if this is the way we have to play to win, this is the way we have to play. We have to win the 3-1 games, the 2-1 games. You know, it might not look as pretty, and we might not have a 60-goal scorer, even though I think we'll still have at least a 50-goal scorer. And he played tonight. He's still going to get 50. But it's going to be a more, let's create chances off of turnovers and then go, rather than exchange rush for rush and go.
So you see the end of this whole losing stretch coming to an end?
Well, I hope so. I have to sleep soon.
What were you most happy with defensively? Because it seemed like the support was there. Things were just a lot cleaner than they have been.
I just thought we didn't give up much. The first period, we're playing that way, and we had outshot them 17-7. And I don't know if they had a real scoring chance in the first period. And I'd like to believe that they didn't have more than 6 or 7 good scoring chances over the whole game. And that tells me the guys were determined to do what they had to do. They didn't play much, but the Beagle, Hendricks, Gordon line gave us energy. They knew exactly what to do, and we had many chances to score, but we just didn't score. And not scoring is what happens when everybody is slumping.
You mentioned it before, but is it preventing that frustration when they do play so well in their own end and do so many things right, that it's the hardest thing to fight right now when they do?
Well, yeah, it's either that you can either look at it half full or half empty. I'm saying we came out and we played a great game. So I want to look at it as we're going to build off of that.
You mentioned before the game you don't normally match lines. When you do it like tonight, do you find that it changes your mindset behind the bench at all?
Yeah, you have to be way more stubborn. If you're used to looking and saying, I want to get this guy this many minutes and that many minutes, and then you're saying, the hell with it. I'm just matching and matching and matching until you can't match anymore. And you're always on your toes. Your assistant coaches, the players are on their toes. They're looking over at the bench. They know, what's going on. So it's different. But teams were always matching against us, where we didn't have to match against them. But I thought tonight that might have been the best line you're going to see in the NHL in Getzlaf, Perry, and Ryan. And they're really good players. So
it seems like it made your guys more disciplined. It seems like shift lengths were really
well.
tight.
It's such a almost. You look at shift lengths when you get your sheets at the end of the game. There's so many whistles, and you're changing every 10 seconds. Brings everybody's shift length down. But if you're playing run and gun and there's no whistles for 6 minutes, the shifts are automatically going to be higher. So it could be misleading sometimes, but we did keep our shifts down because everybody was conscientious of who was on the ice. And so it was I never want to be happy with 1 point when you can get 2, but it sure was a great effort, I think, from our team through all the stuff that's been going on.
You have to, because it's a sign that when last year when you guys lost in the playoffs, people were saying Caps are going to have to change the way they play to win in the playoffs. It may have taken 30 some odd games this year to do it, but is that a sign?
Well, it gives us the ability to play both ways now. We might want to play against Boston because if we've had success against the team the other way. And, it might be different when Semon's in the lineup because you are more of an offensive team. But it's really nice to know that you can change and players can understand the change right away. It just enhances our playbook.